Welcome back to this year's Pixel Festival. Now I have Kerry and Miller with me, who are, you're both going to be coming to do a live performance with John Bowers at this year's festival, aren't you?
That's plan.
Right.
Yeah, cool. But you also have an exhibition, which will be Pillow Talk. So can you talk a bit about Pillow Talk, first of all?
Why don't you start, Miller?
Oh, I was going to say, why don't you start? So Pillow Talk is the basic idea to it is it's not supposed to look like an installation. It's supposed to look like someone with very bad taste had bought all of the ugliest throw pillows in town and had decorated a sort of sitting and living space with them. And then as you get closer to the pillows, assuming you even are willing to approach them, then you should become aware that they are actually whispering among themselves. And the things that they are whispering are, I guess, things that you wouldn't expect pillows to whisper. So the basic idea is a little bit destabilizing, a little bit strange and grotesque, but also hopefully kind of humorous. The pillows are humorously ugly. They're things like celebrity photos or floral designs or cats or rabbits. Things that your grandmother might have on her overstuffed couch, right?
Or
And
the
you say
fraternity brothers.
grotesque.
Some of those. Grotesque.
That picture, I was like, I would love a Nicolas Cage pillow. Sorry, go on, I butt in.
Not at all, not at all. Yeah, no, Nicolas Cage is gloriously grotesque, especially since he's made of sequins.
But yeah, did you have anything to add to the project as well, Kerry?
No, I think that's essentially it. I mean, Miller says that you wouldn't expect the pillows to be saying what they're saying, but we've also carefully crafted it so that you don't get a whole long, understandable segment of text at any given time either. So it can be more evocative of different meanings rather than explicit.
What would be some of your implicit meanings behind the project?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I'm not sure the project means anything.
Do you know, I think where the meaning comes from is this notion that it's meant to well, the pillows are too ugly for it to completely blend in, but it's that idea that it's a guerrilla installation, right? You would in our original conceiving of the idea before it became pillows, we thought about installing like whole furniture pieces in a gallery, and like the sofa would talk to you when you sat down, and the lamp would whisper or something like that. And as we developed the idea for portability, for any kind of amount of just logistical nightmare, we settled on pillows. And when we settled on pillows, that's how it got the name Pillow Talk. So that if there is any meaning, it really just is in providing an experience in an unexpected way with sort of ubiquitous, unremarkable, just the everyday items of life sort of thing.
Thank you. And what else will you be doing when you come here? What performance will you be doing with John Bowers?
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Yes. Well, we just have come up with a name today, which we sent off to the festival.
Can you tell us, or is it like top secret?
Well, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's the word feedback spelled backwards.
So kind of like cabdiff,
maybe.
Cabdiff.
Right.
Yeah.
And the basic idea, which I think this started with John in our conversations. The idea is to for each of us separately to do a thing that any of us could really do by themselves, which is to snatch sounds out of the room and process them in various ways and then feed them back into the room. So that's at this point that's almost a trope, right? So it's widely done. So the idea is that we will each have a laptop doing this, but that we'll be able to move around in the room with our laptops and also feed sounds back into the room in a way that allows the audience to hear something about which person is doing what somehow, because there'll be three of us all doing this at once in some way. So it might be quite a cacophony. I'm really not sure how it's going to come out. We won't have an opportunity to test it out before we actually do the performance.
So it could go anyway.
It could go anyway, but we're all enamored of this idea of the three of us walking around holding our laptops up, because we're going very lo-fi. We're not bringing, for a variety of reasons, we're not bringing our interfaces and fancy microphones. We're going to rely on the kind of low-tech built-in speakers no, the speakers in the room, sorry, but the built-in microphones and things like that, just to get a nice gritty sort of world out of it.
Cool. And where do you see yourselves collaborating next after Piksel?
Oh, well, I work, the whole reason Piksel gave us this great opportunity to perform as a trio is because I often work with John as a duo, and I work separately with Miller as a duo. All three of us just happen to be in the same place. So, I think it's the trio doesn't get an opportunity to do this, but certainly Miller and I have a long-standing collaboration for sound art, composition, performance, and so on. And John and I, whenever we're a little bit closer geographically, so John and I get together every now and then and make noise, but with less frequency, ironically, than Miller and I do.
But an interesting thing for me is that Kerry's and my collaborations end up sounding completely different from Kerry's and John's collaborations. Not just sounding different, but just being different. They have completely different aesthetic points of view. So Kerry somehow is able to speak both languages, but the three of us together is going to be something of a musically polyglot kind of a meeting.
It was one of the more challenging things when all three of us sat down, and I even said in the first meeting, like, I do this thing with Miller and I do this thing with John, and I don't see how they're gonna work. So that's why we've set up a system where we don't know what's going to happen anyway, so we're going to have to improvise and respond to the moment, and that way, any language is going to be emergent as opposed to pre-planned.
Thank you. And what day are you both coming over next week now?
Oh, well, I'm arriving basically the middle of the night on Tuesday, because I'm bringing the pillows on Wednesday to set it up so that they're already charged and ready to play on Thursday. But Miller, you have obligations in New York. I can't remember whether you said you were arriving on Friday, is it?
I'll get there Friday morning, right? So I feel kind of guilty because I miscalculated the day I was going to get there and thought I was going to get there at least the first day of the festival, but I don't get there until the second one. So unfortunately, it means I'm leaving Kerry alone to set the 15 pillows up and get them working. We got together last week in Ireland and tested the whole thing out. So it should all work, right?
Should.
What could possibly go wrong, right?
That's right. 15 CPUs, 15 speakers, loads of soldering, and a lot of cutting up of batting to stuff into throw pillows. I can't imagine where anything could go wrong in that.
No, and having 15 pillows around a cat before you bring them as well.
Well, they're just pillowcases at the moment, and okay. Yeah. So we're just bringing the pillowcases. Of course, the festival is providing us the stuffing, but no, I've got a special suitcase with just the installation materials in it, and I'm hoping that the Dublin airport just says, sure, you're just a weird artist, you can do your thing. Hopefully they won't.
I'm not sure about that, because in Dublin airport, the security is very strict and weird. So
it is very strict and weird. And so I'm cross fingers for us.
Yeah. Hopefully when they see the Nicolas Cage one, they'll be like, just go through, it's too cool. That is a lovely pillow.
Or get this out of my country, please, as fast as you can.
Get it on the next plane. Yeah. So lovely to speak to you guys. And yeah, so I'll see you guys next week then. So make
Yeah.
sure you bring some rain stuff because it hasn't stopped raining for about 40 days now or something. No, it surely can't have been 40 days. Maybe about, well, it's definitely been a long time since I've seen the sun last. So, so just prepare yourselves for that.
You're right. Thanks. Yeah.
You know, it's a little bit damp in the southwest of Ireland too, but it might not be quite as cold as it is there. So we'll come prepared.
Yeah. Anyway, lovely to speak to you. And yeah, we'll see each other next week.
All right. Excellent. Goodbye.
See
Good
you.
talking to you.
Take care. Thank you
Thanks.
very much.